In lesson 39, we're looking at the difference of two squares, parallelogram proof, and rhombus. In our first example, we're solving an equation by factoring, and the binomial that we're given is the difference of two squares. When we have the difference of two squares, it will factor into two binomials, and we'll simply take the square root of the first term, which in this case is 2x, and that's our first term in our binomials, and this is still equal to 0. And then we take the square root of the last term, which in this case is 3, and then we have a plus and a minus. Then we set each of these equal to 0 and solve. So in this case, we'd subtract the 3 and then divide by 2, so x would equal negative 3 over 2. And then in the next one, we would add the 3 and then divide by 2, so this time it's a positive 3 over 2. And those are our two answers for this equation. In example 2, it is again the difference of two squares, so we'll factor into two binomials. So we take the square root of the first term, which is 9m, and the square root of the last term, which is 5, and that would be a plus and a minus. Then we would set each of those equal to 0. 9m plus 5 equals 0, and 9m minus 5 equals 0, and then we solve these individually. So I would subtract the 5 and divide by 9. So that's one of my answers for n. And then on the next one I would add the 5 and then divide by 9. And that's my other answer for n. So you see in this case, they're just a positive and a negative 5/9. And it was the same thing before, where they were the same number, but one was positive and one was negative. In example 3, we have DEFG is a rhombus, and the measure of the reflexive angle, or the reflex angle, is 280 degrees, and then they want us to find A, X, B, K, and C. So I have the reflex angle drawn in here. That's what is 280 degrees. Now we know that if this was to go all the way around, it would be 360 degrees. So x plus a plus 280 would equal 360. So what I need to do is subtract the 280 degrees from 360 to move it to the other side. So I know that x plus a is equal to 80. Now because they're being divided by the diagonal, they're actually equal to each other. So this could be written as a plus a, since there's two of them and I know they're equal, equals 80. So 2a would equal 80. And then I divide by 2. So a equals 40 degrees. And also that tells me that x equals 40 degrees. So I found x and a, but I still need to find what k, b, and c are. Since I know that this x plus a is 80 degrees, and it is adjacent to KB, those two would add together to give me 180 degrees. So I'd subtract the 80. So K plus B equals 100. Now again, K and B are being divided by the diagonal, and that means that they're going to be equal because it just divides them in half. So this could be written as k plus k, since k is equal to b. So I can put in a k for the b, so it equals 100. So 2k would equal 100, and then I just divide both sides by 2. So k equals 50, and b equals 50, and those are both degrees. Alright, and then the last angle measurement I need to find is c. Because they're diagonals and they're intersecting, on a rhombus they intersect at a 90-degree angle, so c equals 90 degrees. So we found all the missing angles that we needed to find for DEFG rhombus.